You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of God. The face of God. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are a part of me. A part of me. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face of God.
the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are
God.
the face of God.
You are the face
Oh,
of
c'est
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
es judoí.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me.
me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of God. The face of God. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are a part of me. A part of me. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are
God.
the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of
are
God.
the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
ruh khudai.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face, you are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of the face of love. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of God. The face of God. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are a part of me. A part of me. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
La luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are
God.
the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are
God.
the face of God.
You are the face
Oh,
of
c'est
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
es judoí.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face, you are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You're in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of God. The You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of God. The face of God. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are a part of me. A part of me. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. 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 La luce di Dio. You are the face. You are the face.
Good morning. Happy Sunday and welcome to our Sunday celebration and service. First of all, we want to give a warm welcome to all of our viewers who are watching this live stream or this rebroadcast on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube here and across the globe. My name is Julia Mattis, and I am the president of the Board of Trustees and a licensed Science of Mind practitioner and the co-leader of the women's group here at the Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. Before we start, we would greatly appreciate it if you would share this live stream to help us spread our message of love. I'll pause for you to do that now. If you're on Facebook, all you have to do is hit that share button. Wonderful, thank you. At Columbia CSL, we live the truth of who we are through our identity, vision, and mission statements. Our new identity statement is, we are a diverse community of belonging and growth, sharing the light and joy within ourselves while learning to see it in others. And our vision is, we are contributing to a world that works for everyone. And we carry out that vision through our mission statement, which says, we are a welcoming, inclusive spiritual center where everyone can be seen and heard. We lovingly practice the principles of science of mind in the world. And now I ask you to set an intention for this week. Take a moment, center yourself, take a deep breath, and allow yourself to sink into the feeling of that intention right now as you open to receive Spirit's guidance throughout our time together here this morning. And if you feel like it, you could share your intentions in the chat with everyone else who's joining us today. We have a saying here at Columbia CSL, singing or listening to music is like praying twice. So we begin each service with a song. So let's warmly welcome our friend Jessie Powers back with our first song of our service.
Good morning, oneness. Happy Sunday. I'm so glad to be with you again. We're going to start it off by accepting our blessings in whatever form they may come. Sunshine on my face and the day is made of magic. Sometimes I still find a way to make my life feel tragic. Good things pour down on me like summer rain, so warm. I try to run, but it's so much better to dance in the storm.
Wow, thank you, Jessie, for that amazing and uplifting song to kick our morning off. As our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, taught, in principle, the great religions of the world do not differ as much as they appear to. That is why we take time each month at the beginning of the month to recognize and honor a variety of religions as sacred paths to God. I now invite our practitioner of the day, Rebecca Bell, to lead us in our breaths of faith.
Good morning. Let us breathe in together as we honor each faith. As we take the first breath, we honor Christianity as a path of love and forgiveness. As we take in the second breath, we honor Buddhism as a path of compassion and Four Noble Truths. As we take in the third breath, we honor Judaism as a path of ethical living through sacred law. As we take in the fourth breath, we honor Baha'i as the path of unity and peace. As we take in the fifth breath, we honor Islam as a path of surrendering to the will of God as the highest calling. As we take in the sixth breath, we honor Confucianism as the path of deliberate tradition. As we take in the seventh breath, we honor Taoism as the path of harmony and balance. As we take in the eighth breath, we honor Native American tradition as a path that recognizes and honors spirit in all of creation. As we take in the ninth breath, we honor Shintoism as a path of optimism and the inherent goodness of humanity. As we take in the 10th breath, we honor Hinduism as a path of knowledge, action, and devotion. As we take in the 11th breath, we honor Akan, like the path that honors the divine ancestors and nature. As we take in the 12th breath, we honor our own faith, the science of mind, as a path of adherence to universal spiritual law and transformation through the commitment to our spiritual practices. And as we take in the final breath, we honor you to hold sacred any and all faiths in their multiplicity by knowing love as the highest power that guides them all.
And so it is. Thank you, Rebecca, for leading us in the breaths of faith this morning. If this is your first time experiencing the Columbia Center for Spiritual Living, we welcome you and thank you for joining us today. We want you to know that no matter who you are and whatever your spiritual path is, you are welcome here. We invite you to visit our website, columbiacsl.com, to learn more about our spiritual community, replay past services, and find articles and other resources of interest. And please check out the calendar on our website for events and opportunities that are coming up in our community to gather together in fellowship. And so now I've got the announcements that are leading into all these exciting things that we have going on here at Columbia CSL. As a reminder, this week, the women's group meets Tuesday night at 7 p.m. virtually on Zoom. The women's group is a wonderful monthly discussion group where we gather to discuss and share and support each other in a loving and spiritual way. All women are welcome to join us in spiritual fellowship, whether you are new to our community or a longtime member. check the calendar for registration and to get information about how to join us. Sign up for Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life, the Scientific Art of Prayer workshop with one of our dearly beloved favorite guests, Eugene Holden, on Saturday, October the 23rd, from 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. This workshop will take a deeper dive into the science of mind and spirit to uncover how changing the way we think and pray can create the life we desire to live. Next up, we have the Howard County Pride event happening next weekend, Saturday, October the 9th, and we're going to be a vendor there. That means that we'll have a booth set up and we will be sharing our message of contributing to a world that works for everyone. We still need a few more volunteers to be in service at our table for a couple of hours between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. So please contact Jules Gilliam or email us at info@columbiacsl.com if you're willing and able to help out. And we're going to have some really cool t-shirts. As an affiliate member of Centers for Spiritual Living, our purpose and commitment is to support others in transforming their lives through the science of mind teachings. Therefore, we wish to provide the rescheduled Science of Mind course, Spiritual Economics, now beginning October 21st, for as many as would like to participate. And we've made a substantial adjustment to the registration fee, so don't miss your opportunity to sign up for this amazing class. The book will be based around the book written by Eric Butterworth. And finally, join Dr. Nadene and Io McClenny on Monday, October 25th, as they guide us through a forgiving and release ceremony here in our community. This is our next step in conscious transition as a community. We know that as we create a sense of inner peace as individuals, we help to clear out our collective community consciousness and welcome in an unobstructed flow of universal abundance. All are welcome and encouraged to join us on Monday, October the 25th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And once again, for all information regarding any of the events that I've announced here, as well as all the other exciting things we have going on in our community, please check out our website at www.columbiacsl.com/events for a whole list of calendar of what's going on. Or please feel free to email us at info@columbiacsl.com. And now it's time for us to engage in our spiritual practice together. I invite you to settle in, center yourself in this moment, and find that still place within where spirit is all there is. Let's take a few deep breaths together. We will have a contemplative reading by Karen Brown, and then a guided meditation and affirmative prayer by licensed practitioner Rebecca Bell.
Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see you. The readings this month are outtakes of the voluminous works of Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes merely introduced ideas and then immediately conducted us past himself and his own intuitions into whatever we would make of them. There is only one true authority, the divine, speaking in and through the depths of the human soul. Today's reading is entitled The Unity of All, from Words That Heal. If we had to search for God, where would we go? If we had to find the kingdom, in what direction should we look? The illumined ones said the kingdom is within. This kingdom is already established, even though we have not yet discovered it. Life has made a gift that we have not accepted. There is an interior reality to everything. A divine pattern is hidden in everything. A unity that binds all together in one common source, one living spirit, one divine presence. Each is a unique manifestation of this one. Jesus implies that no one can enter the kingdom of God without desiring to take all others with him. For he said, I was hungered and you gave me meat. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came unto me. The kingdom of God into which he invites us to enter is that realm of pure spirit which includes everyone. It is a unity of good. It is one of the supreme tests of the integrity of our spiritual conviction that we desire and allow this inclusiveness. Let us now move into meditation with this affirmation. Silently I pass from less to more, from isolation into inclusion, from separation into oneness. And so it is. Namaste.
And so it is. So let's take that idea of moving from the idea of separation into oneness into our meditative space. So I invite you to close your eyes and settle in. Noticing yourself in this space, in this place. And breathe. Breathe in, filling your lungs with the oxygen that is the life-giving energy. And breathe out, feeling that life energy throughout your body. Breathe in, honoring that the oxygen we breathe is provided from the plants, plant life in our world. Breathe out, acknowledging that carbon dioxide in our out-breath is critical to life on Earth. Acknowledging the act and process of breathing is a foundational example of our interdependence completely. An example of diversity necessary for the oneness of all life. And breathe. Feeling the energy moving through your body. Taking a moment to notice and pay attention to the interdependent systems in your body that make your individual life possible. As we breathe, notice the movement in your lungs. As we breathe, notice the beating of your heart. This interdependence in our own body system is just a reflection of the interdependence of all of us in our greater body system, the oneness of all life. Take a moment to honor the diversity in your own body as we honor the diversity and oneness in all of life. And knowing this life as one, this oneness of God, this oneness of life experience. That is all there is. There is nothing separate. I am not separate from God. I am not separate from you. You are not separate from me. You are not separate from God. This is all that life is. And each of us are prime examples and manifestations of life being lived through us, as us. We are critical to each other because all we are is one. All we are is one. And so I am so knowing that truth today. And we are here in joyful celebration and honor of that truth. This is why we came today. This is why we showed up, to celebrate, to honor, to worship that truth together as a beloved community and individually as our own selves, filling our own hearts with this knowledge. What a beautiful example. What a beautiful time together. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this time spent together. I'm grateful for the distractions of life that allow us to celebrate life, that allow us to celebrate oneness, that allow us to celebrate the joyful serendipity of life and experience. I'm grateful for the dog who is playing with things in my area and perhaps distracting me, but that is life too. The distractions and the love of the things that we love and that we've chosen into our lives. That is life as well. And that is love as well. And that is God as well. And I am grateful for that. Knowing that worshiping God happens in the context of my normal everyday life. That is part of the worship. That is part of the God. That is part of the ceremony. And I'm grateful for that. So I'm releasing this knowledge of celebration, of joy, of learning, of peace, of diversity, of interdependence into the law that can only bring us more, and honoring that on a greater and greater level. And I release this word into the fertile ground of my mind, of our mind, of the universal mind, knowing that truth is growing and growing greater and greater consciousness. And so with love, I allow it to be so, and together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. And so it is. Wow. Thank you to the amazing Karen Brown and Rebecca Bell, and of course Posey, who made an appearance in the background there to remind us of the beauty and the love and the realness of life. And thank you for that beautiful time together and that amazing spiritual practice. In the spiritual community, our practitioners and ministers are eager to know the truth with you and for you. Feel free to email your prayer request for prayer or counseling to prayer@columbiacsl.com. And we will hold your truth in prayer throughout the week. And now it's once again my pleasure to introduce the amazing Jessie Powers.
Sometimes I am a songbird, singing high harmony. Atop the hemlock, I play my precious part in the earthly symphony. Sometimes I am a human. I still sing, but it's not the same. A human sings because she has something to say, and a songbird sings because it's the only way. Ooh. to let go of what we do not have, to remember we are
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much again, Jesse, for that amazing gift and for your amazing music. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our interim senior minister, Reverend Dr. Nadene Rogers, with today's talk entitled Sacred Interdependence.
Thank you so much, Julia, and welcome Columbia CSL and friends far and wide. A grand rising to everyone on this beautiful autumn day. We are, yes, in a time and place of conscious evolution where it would serve humanity to become more curious about where each of us can plug in, don't you think? As opposed to being on guard, we're asking deeper questions, not of the establishment or worldly goings on, but about what pattern of core beliefs might be keeping us in a reactionary mode of flight or fight. You know, we can count on ourselves for much. We can count on ourselves to get the job done sometimes. We can feel a great sense of accomplishment for achieving a goal sometimes. And believe as though we are living on purpose sometimes. But none of the above is as growth provoking and enriching as awakening in the presence of a witness, our fellow humans accompany us on this journey. So, you know, today we enter into our new monthly theme, Going Further Together, through the contemplation of the meaning of sacred independence and how perhaps to walk towards it. So as we awaken to the truth of the sacredness and the beauty of our unique lives, we begin with the understanding, as always, that there is one divine, universal pattern expressing through all creation. And that to work with this idea practically in our daily lives changes us. Now, we can all agree that everything is energy, and everything is our use of that energy through thought, expression, and action as we communicate and connect in relationship with our inner and our outer worlds. Yes, that's pretty simple. But creating an interdependent relational experience with our outer life will happen correspondingly as a reflection of how well we integrate our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual energies within to bring about an experience of harmony. A reflection of the day-to-day experience of balance or disharmony that appears and our reaction to it is something very important to be mindful of. A reflection of our moment-to-moment mindfulness in the practice of being present in the care of ourselves and, of course, of others. All relational experiences are effects. They're representations, outcomes, often mistaken as the cause of why we feel about ourselves as we do. You know, Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of the teaching, Science of Mind, states, change your mind, change your life. Many of you have heard this a lot. Now, this also could be stated in so many other ways that perhaps feel a little more relevant to how individuals need to be met right at their particular stage of moving from dependence to independence and into the highest ideal, being in alignment with the sacred interdependence within the principle of wholeness and unity. Excuse me. So perhaps instead of changing our minds, which can sometimes elicit an image of anywhere from letting go to death of one's identity, we could use the term turn your mind and change your experience. Now, this to me illustrates the first step of commitment, which is attainable and measurable, right where we are. The more we turn our mind, we will eventually experience a changed life. Interdependence, to me, is about being intimately connected and led from the awareness of and belief in the fact that there is only one life, and executed or practiced from a place of love and honor and equity for all. Intimacy with others, well, can only happen when we understand that the other is an extension of ourselves, explained metaphysically as a reflection of our own beliefs about who and what we are. Now, just like we've never really seen with our own eyes what we really look like as we gaze into, I'm looking at my mirror over here, we gaze into the mirror, we see a mirror image of ourselves when getting ready for the day. So, you know, we cannot really know what is seen through the eyes of the outside world looking in on us, can we? Now, this is why our work is to write our own thinking about who and whose we are as an extension of that ultimate infinite intelligence, that cause, which created us out of itself. We do the same thing, create our thoughts about our seeing perception and our experience around something out of ourselves. It's the same thing. So intimacy is required to know the sacred and asks us not to fear intimacy with ourselves. It asks us to see ourselves for who we are and accept it. Being honest, being accountable, contemplative about how we think about ourselves, who we believe ourselves to be. Yes, at the very same time. You know, doors shut as others are opening at the same time, reflecting the natural energetic harmony of the universe everywhere present and operating through the natural law in this ongoing universal life-death cycle. Now, many think that one idea or experience must find closure It must no longer exist as a competitor for our attention before we can be clear to focus on something else. Not true. The universal creative process is still happening, whether we are looking behind or in front of us. And as we focus on the creative potential of the present and our belief in the power of our new intention, the past is being naturally released. As we focus on the creative potential of the present and our belief in the power of our new intention, the past is being naturally released. In this constant life-death cycle, we shed beliefs by expanding our conscious understanding of our divinity and our humanity as being one thing. In this expanding awareness, our defenses naturally dissolve. And the closed sign on the door of our heart turns over to read open. Now, our teaching states that there is no process of healing because the spiritual nature of life, our DNA, is whole, complete, and perfect. But we do experience in the time-space continuum a process in our healing journeys. Again, based upon who we believe ourselves to be and what is possible in our lives to experience by means of us, through our choices. I'm going to give you a recent personal example. I went for a few medical tests because something is not feeling right in my body. Okay? So every time that happens, all tests that I take prove everything is right within my body. Bam! Yep. It's all in my head. Now, not that it doesn't exist in my body, but it increases or decreases its presence as an effect of me turning my mind away from the condition or not. So turning away means remembering that all experience is a reflection of my belief system, the seed planter of growth. Yesterday I was sitting in the park waiting for my partner to finish with some x-ray procedures. We're both in it, interesting, and found just a swing to occupy myself. Now, during that time, along came a very attentive mother and her beautiful 3-year-old daughter and their longtime family 4-legged friend, Sage, the French bulldog. Very cute. Now, as the scene unfolded, the idea of turning one's mind was illustrated to me in space. I was watching the dog, and I was sensing some real physical discomfort within its body. Now, at the very moment, the mother exclaimed, "Our dog is healthy and happy and will live for a very long time." I kind of shook my head, and I was amused, watching the synchronicity of everything unfolding in its wholeness at the same time. Now, hearing this, you might say, well, the mother's mind in her statement was turned to the truth, her dog's wholeness, spiritually speaking. But my mind was perceiving discomfort and perhaps pain in the dog's body. So it was turned to the condition. Now, which perspective illustrates what Dr. Holmes refers to as right thinking? Well, I'm going to leave that one with you. But suffice to say, each of us were turned into what seemed like an opposite focus, when in fact, each of us together were experiencing the one life from our own choice of focus. The power in presence is all there is. There's one life. So nothing can live outside of that life. So I was sensing the body of the dog while the mom was sensing the spirit, both of equal value. Now, while our thought processes may be quickly judged as being opposite from one another, they in fact were two sides of the same coin, or sacred complements of one another. Now, this is an important distinction when intending to turn our mind in ways that will walk us into the joy through the challenges of letting go our dependence and independence, into living in sacred independence with all life. While our four-leggeds and our bodies of water, small children, and ancient trees may elicit an immediate feeling of sacred unity, connection with life, more than, say, our last boss or our partner or our present country leader, the fact still remains that a sacred connection, albeit a great start, requires intentional and mindful living to move us from being dependent upon something other to independent in the sense of a withdrawal from life, and into living with a mental resolve and open heart. This mental resolve is built upon the commitment and constancy of turning our mind not only away from the power we give the condition, but from the idea of separation or otherness. Now, one of the ways we turn our minds without the presence of heart is when we fail to face the feelings of sadness and grief that accompany us through this idea of loss or losing something or someone. Even a long-time belief, and most specifically our long-time beliefs that served as a friend along our path of self-discovery, need to be processed and released. These feelings are real to us and a vital aspect of the beauty of our humanity. For these feelings, the journey to identify these feelings, the release of these feelings, the sharing of these feelings, the honoring of these feelings, tell the story of our mind-heart connection, the story of our mind-body connection, our ego-soul connection, our connection and communion with the God of our understanding, and finally, are a vital foundational key to the embracement of our humanity so that we may know our divinity. Now, we, like many of our New Thought communities and beyond, are having to think again, this time using imagination, intuition, the wisdom of the collective heart, the reassessment of our values, our needs, our purpose, and the actionable steps in the intention to be sustainable and contributing to a world that works for everyone. This need to release and recalibrate is in everyone. And with this death, along with new life, comes the intense feelings of letting go. Not so much of what was or is out there, but who we are in relationship with that. The death is internal and external, happening simultaneously. And as we acknowledge and accept our feelings, the power over us that we have given them naturally diminishes. So acknowledging and including our feelings is so necessary to create a new reality. For as Dr. Ernest Holmes reminds us, that although all thoughts are creative, thoughts plus feelings are more creative than the energy of thought alone. Our communities, they're going through change, whether in effect of global happenings or the unexpected challenges occurring within their own four walls. But they are not in need of fixing or repair because nothing is broken. As the universal creative process of life, creating out of itself, is breaking away and building up at the same time. It is happening on both the invisible spiritual realm and in the invisible material realm simultaneously. This creative process will continue, no matter our perceptions of who we believe ourselves to be. Because the nature of life keeps creating, evolving forward, expanding beyond what has gone before in its expression, and so do we, even if we are not aware of its happening. Communities regenerate themselves in accordance with the natural universal laws and spiritual principles in operation, and also through being directed by the collective conscious agreement to be in sacred independence our interdependence with each other. Now, as a community brought together through the desire and intention to clear and deepen our connection into a feeling of sacred unity, our starting place must be mindful self-care. Now, that does not exclude the care of others. And it is from this intimacy, born in direct communion with Spirit's knowing of itself as the one life, that sacred interdependence is created. Here are some steps I want to offer you that you might take that were part of my journey. First is to rewrite your story, turning your mind from how your life is now reflecting the challenges of the past to how your life is now out of picturing its gifts. You see, enough time has passed that you can be objective when you look behind yourself in order to be able to create a new understanding and truth of who you are in this moment. Another thing is to practice turning your mind away from the perception of opposites, opposing thoughts, or the belly of the shadow inside of us, or the collective one reflecting in the global experience that many of us can attest to, that is happening right now. Everything and everyone, be it individually or collectively, is struggling to know its value and purpose. But it is on its right and perfect path. When we turn our minds to uniting with the sacred complement, we will experience divine harmony within and without. And the other one is to allow yourself to hear and to relate and become one with that multi-layered voice of the marginalized, the terrorized, and the spirit within those we see as perpetrators of inequity and injustice. Eugene Holden spoke last week, and Julia reminded me of something he said, which really hit home with me as I heard him speak it, but I'd forgotten in that moment, which was, we have to pray for everyone, not just those that we feel a connection to, because the truth is we are connected to everyone. In a recent interview of the great baseball player Yogi Berra, I don't know if you remember Yogi Berra, I wasn't a baseball fan, but he was interviewed on the subject of explaining jazz music. And I just love this. I hope you have as much fun with it as I did. So the interviewer says to Yogi Berra, he says, "Can you explain jazz?" And Yogi says, "I can't, but I will. 90% of all jazz is half improvisation. The other half is the part people play while others are playing something they never played with anyone who played that part. So if you play the wrong part, it's right. If you play the right part, it might be right if you play it wrong enough. But if you play it too right, it's wrong." The interviewer says, "I don't understand." And Yogi continues, "Well, anyone who understands jazz knows that you can't understand it. It's too complicated. That's what's so simple about it." The interviewer, "Do you understand it?" Yogi, "No. That's why I can explain it. If I understood it, I wouldn't know anything about it." Isn't that like life? As students of the spiritual living way, we can be certain on the scientific aspects of our teaching, the science of mind, which agrees that this universe is governed by natural laws, which are imprinted and changed by the energy of thought and action. That there is much more than we can prove or demonstrate presently. As students of this teaching, we can also be certain of two things: that whatever is intelligent, what this intelligent, creative, invisible power may be, that it works in concert with the power of our belief to produce a specific effect or condition. And that as we turn our thinking, change our thinking, and expand our thinking, we are called further into the unknown and are welcoming to it. So perhaps listening to the inherent harmony within the multi-layered voices of the instruments, with not one in the lead, wearing all its curiosity and discovery on its sleeve, as it plays intuitively the sharps and flats, off time and in sync, to effect a perfect balance in the flow of the convergence of cause and effect, illusion and truth, our humanity and divinity, is the way to sacred interdependence. Awakening humanity is aware of facts, solutions, and truth, present in the individual and collective experience of life at all times, and just embrace it as the sacred path to the awakening of our I Am Presence. This I Am Presence is operating just as we are, right where we are, in each of our lives, and in the listening to and following of our own divine wisdom. We are intuitively guided in ways that are helping us to transcend and transmute what we perceive, or should I say, our perception of life being chaotic. As we lift ourselves up into this trust in a divine, orderly universe, others will be lifted up with us. They'll be able to hear the inner guidance of their I Am Presence. Let us awaken it together, knowing that how we live becomes our prayer. Walking not dependently in need of getting our good from another, nor in the pride of interdependence, creating a numbing and sometimes painful state of separateness and the illusion of safety, but awakening from a deep, deep sleep into sacred interdependence and care for this one life present everywhere. Here we will be clear about who and whose we are, and why we are on earth during this auspicious time. Life is a blessing, always and in all ways. And so are we, and so it is. Amen.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Nadene, for that amazing talk. And so it is. My takeaway today is how we live becomes our prayer. That's a good one. Do you want to take a deeper dive into today's talk? Well, you can talk directly with Dr. Nadene after service this morning on Zoom at what we call our after chat. Find the link in our newsletter or on our website calendar. And if you've joined us before in the past, it is the same link. We've also put the link in the chat section of the Facebook page as well. And please join us next week in person, together again at the Hawthorne Center, as we welcome our beloved practitioner, Rebecca Bell, as she's our speaker next week, and she continues this month's theme, Going Further Together, with her talk entitled, What is Ours to Do Now? So please join us in person if you're in the Howard County, Columbia area. Directions are on our website. And now it's once again my pleasure to introduce for her final song, Jessie Powers.
Sometimes I get a glimpse of what happens in your head, and I gotta say that it sounds so ridiculous. It makes me wonder if you understand how blessed I've been feeling being with you. 'Cause you got this way of carrying the light, just like a prism giving rainbows to people passing by, projecting technicolor dreams before my eyes. You just radiated, ain't it beautiful? And you got me so good that you could go and break my heart in two, and I would probably smile
all of the beautiful ways that you do you. So baby, better get used to it, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. And you know it starts as a spark, now my heart won't quit. My love ain't going nowhere. When you know your cup's too small and it all won't fit, my love ain't going nowhere. Better go to Home Depot, get a whole bucket, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. I love to witness you in all your humanness, 'cause I get to see the things in me that you reflect. I get the reeling, get this feeling in my chest. I'm in love, baby, with every little piece of you. And you got me so good that you could go and leave me in the dust. And I'd be delighted to find there was more of you I get to love. So baby, it's 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. And you know it starts as a spark, now my heart won't quit. My love ain't going nowhere. You know your cup's too small and it all won't fit. My love ain't going nowhere. Better go to Home Depot, get a whole bucket, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. Ooh, yeah. It's a love song from the universe. Let me accept all your good and accept all the good, not just from some ether that you call the universe, but from what the universe is made of. And it's made of you and me, you and me. It's a universe. It's a universe. It's a universe. So that makes it sound like I was thinking it's me. It's not me. Anyway, hey. So baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for love like you. So baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for love like you. So baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for love like you. So baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for love like you. 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 Waiting years for love like you.
Wow, thank you, Jessie. As always, your original music is so delightful and so whimsical and so uplifting, and we thank you for your amazing gifts. Follow Jessie on Facebook at Jessie Powers Music for more opportunities to enjoy and hear her fabulous, and a lot of it is original music. Thank you again, Jessie. We look forward to seeing you again. Now it's time for our conscious giving. We've just received so much, and now we can participate in the law of circulation by giving back. I invite you at this moment to invoke feelings of love and gratitude and abundance for all the gifts that we have just received and continue to receive, and allow those feelings to fill you up and to fill the space around you. And now let's use the power of our word by speaking our prosperity affirmation together. Even those of you at home can join us. I know that the infinite abundance of the universe blesses and multiplies this offering, and so it is. We offer several easy ways to donate your offering to us today and anytime in the future. You can make a one-time or recurring donation through our website at www.columbiacsl.com, or you can text your donation to us at 410-498-6175. And for those of you who prefer the old-fashioned way, you can drop it in the mail or come by the office and drop your check. Again, the address is on our website. And we so appreciate your gifts and your tithes. Thank you for supporting us so that we remain a vital and thriving center in which to find yours and others' spiritual nourishment and fulfillment. And we know that as we give with gratitude, we receive with gratitude. Would you please join me as we bless and receive every gift that is bestowed upon Columbia CSL? Together we receive these gifts, knowing that they nurture and support our vision of contributing to a world that works for everyone. And so it is. So that concludes our service for today. On behalf of our entire community, we thank you for being a part of our spiritual family today, and we look forward to seeing you again. At the end of service, please hang around for some great music and to watch our announcement slides and to once again see our website calendar of events that's coming up. Or you can go to www.columbiacsl.com/events to make sure that you know everything that's going on in our community. And you can also sign up for our newsletter so you can receive those notifications automatically. And that's where you're also going to find the link to sign up for today's after chat with Dr. Nadene, which will occur as soon as we log off here. And then one final reminder, we are in person again next week with our own amazing practitioner, Rebecca Bell, at the Hawthorne Center next Sunday, October 10th. And it's now my pleasure to once again introduce Dr. Nadene to close out our service with a benediction.
I love what Jesse said. We're in a unimiaverse. Another way to say sacred interdependence, isn't it? So join me, will you, in consciousness as we listen and become the chords of the multi-layered voices that together we have woven and expressed as creations of this one divine life. This beautiful life being expressed through the law of its being in divine order, in concert with our own idea of who we are, of what is possible by means of us. We are in a unimiaverse. It's playful. It has great potential. As we open our hearts and our minds to the truth of life as being one life. Our indigenous brothers and sisters know this naturally. They are raised in that culture. To be together as community and to grow and to live their highest and best self through the wisdom and the experience of the many. Let us do that today by opening our hearts and minds to each other in new ways. And let us remember we are people of the earth. People of the earth. O great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. Blessings on your week, everyone. And so it is.
Can go when the tension's high and I'm feeling low. In a flash, I can be in another space as a different me, have a new ID. I think I'll treat myself to all the pretty places in my head. Yes, I'm going to treat myself to all the pretty places in my head. There's no rich, there's no poor. Everything is love, no such word as war. There's no black and no white. Rainbow colors, they dress the days and nights. Life's a paradise. I think I'll treat myself to all the pretty places in my head. Yes, I'm going to treat myself to all the pretty places in my head. It's amazing how the mind can do what you want it to. It can take you to a time where you'll want to stay forever, feeling everlasting pleasure. If your life's in a place that you can hardly bear, come along with me to mental ecstasy. I think I'll treat myself to all the pretty places in my head. Yes, I'm going to treat myself to all the pretty places in my head. Whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are true.